The court will call case 25 CM 2192, State of Wisconsin versus Diane Maroney. Will the parties please state their appearances?
ADA Sam Smith for the state.
Ms. Maroney appears in person in custody with her attorney, Kennedy Allison. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We're set for a hearing after Ms. Maroney missed a court appearance. Is that true?
Yes, it looks like I believe it was a status conference on January 27th.
What's the state's position on bond?
Given that a signature bond was set in September and Ms. Maroney then failed to appear, as I mentioned on January 27th, the state is asking for $300 cash and the reinstatement of the non-monetary conditions. I believe that's just no contact with Maria D.
What's Ms. Maroney's position?
We have no objections on the non-monetary conditions, Your Honor. We do have objections on the amount of cash bond or bail that is being asked for. Ms. Maroney is currently homeless and unemployed. She's represented by an attorney appointed through the public defender's office. I believe that amount of money would be restrictive. I believe Ms. Maroney's failure to appear stems just from an inability for us to connect and talk about this case so far. Now that we have made contact, I'm much more confident that Ms. Maroney will appear at her next court date. I think any amount of cash bail would just be too restrictive and not required for her to show up to her next hearing.
Ms. Maroney, I haven't ordered any amount of bail at this point, but the state has asked that the bail be set at $300.
Attorney Allison, notice for the next hearing is going to be sent out through the mail. Should we still be using the beacon for address?
Yeah, you can use like this. You still use my whole address. The ballot address, please.
Okay, given Ms. Maroney's comments here, I agree that some cash bail is appropriate. I'll order $200 cash bail and I'll reinstate the previous condition.
Understood. Thank you.
Right.
Next is JAYQUAN RETELLE.
You can go with it. JAYQUAN RETELLE or RETELLE? They say RETELLE. We work instead of the others.
I'll call case 26 CF 264, State of Wisconsin versus JAYQUAN RETELLE. Is that how you pronounce your last name, sir?
Yeah.
Please state their appearances.
ADA Sam Smith for the state.
Mr. JAYQUAN RETELLE appears in person and in custody alongside Attorney C. Joseph Antola from the Public Defender's Office. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint. We would waive its formal reading. Stand mute as to any misdemeanor charges. It would appear that the address on the criminal complaint is correct. And it appears that Mr. RETELLE is eligible for public defender representation at this time, and that he currently has an attorney assigned through our office.
All right, I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I find that it contains probable cause. What is the state's position on bond?
State's requesting cash bail in the amount of $2,000. Along with the condition that he not consume or possess controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. Reason for the $2,000 request. I'll start by noting this is what I believe to be the fourth open felony case for this defendant. Bail in original pending cases was set at $500 and $1,000. That was not enough for him to come back to court, as there was a failure to appear on December 4th of 2025 after that was posted. And I believe that he was for those reasons, the state feels that an increase in amounts is warranted and that $2,000 is appropriate.
All right, on behalf of Mr. RETELLE.
I would just ask for one moment to look at is CCAP. I would know. I don't see any missed appearances on December 4th for Mr. Rattel. He told me that he did not believe that he missed court. I just checked the CCAP record for his 3 open cases. Those are 24 CF 1168, 24 CF 1283, and 25 CF 984. I don't see any notes about a missed appearance or really anything happening on December 4th. I do see that on December 18th, the plea and sentencing hearing was set for March 9th, but I don't see anything about a recent missed appearance. Maybe in reply, the state can provide more information, but given that, I don't. Again, maybe I'm missing some information, but I don't see any non-appearance issues for Mr. Rattel. We would be asking for a signature bond on this case. I would not object to the non-monetary conditions. These are not Act 3 eligible offenses. It would appear that he does have a working relationship with the attorneys he currently has through the public defender's office. Again, I'm not seeing non-appearance issues. So I'd ask and I should also note, I apologize, I was not provided Mr. Rattel's name before I got here today. But I should note that he does have 2 children, both aged 4. If I may just have a moment to speak to Mr. Rattel.
Sure.
I'm not totally sure his custody arrangement for his 2 children, but they do at least spend some of their time residing with him. Again, they are both quite young, aged 4. And I would note that he has lived in Dane County for his whole life. So there are significant ties to the community. And again, I'm not able to see any missed appearances. Maybe the state has more information. So I'd ask the court to consider a signature bond. Thank you.
I think I found the missed appearance that was referenced. I think it's in 24 CF 1283, and maybe that was December of 2024. Is that the missed appearance you were referencing, counsel?
One moment, Your Honor.
I believe I see that as well, December 2nd, 2024.
Yeah, that must have been a Scrivener's error by the reviewing ADA. So I guess in support of my cash argument, I'll mention that as a failure to appear, but I fully recognize it's a year older than I originally thought it was. But nothing more to add. Thank you.
Right. Well, I suppose I agree with the assessment that some cash bail is appropriate in this case, given the fact that Mr. Rattel is out or was out already on cash bail, and that he at least has demonstrated some willingness to miss court, given that one missed appearance. It doesn't look like he's had any other appearances on these pending cases, out of custody appearances anyway. But given the open cases and the nature of the allegations here, the $2,000 requested by the state is appropriate. I'll order that. And I'll order Mr. Rattel that you not use or possess any controlled substances without a valid prescription, and that you not possess any drug paraphernalia while this case is pending. Counsel, would you like the preliminary hearing within the time limits?
Mr. Rattel will not be waiving preliminary hearing timelines.
There's no waiver of the time limits, and the preliminary hearing will be scheduled for adjourn on this matter.
Next is Jacob Brinkley.
Go ahead.
Brinkley, Jacob Brinkley. Stand on the LX.
Yes. And I'll call case 26 CF 267, State of Wisconsin versus Jacob Brinkley. Would the parties please state their appearances, please?
ADA Sam Smith for the state.
Mr. Jacob Brinkley appears in custody in person with counsel attorney David Anderson. Good afternoon, Your Honor. We have received a copy of the complaint. We do waive any further reading and the address is correct.
All right, I have reviewed the copy of the criminal complaint. I find that it contains probable cause. What is the state's position on bond?
State's requesting a signature bond along with the conditions or condition rather that the defendant not capture any photos of anyone under the age of 18 and have no unsupervised contact with children.
We have no objection.
All right, I'll order a signature bond with those conditions. What about the preliminary hearing?
We will waive the time limits to that hearing.
Right, I'll find that Mr. Brinkley has waived the time limits for the preliminary hearing and it will be scheduled.
Thank you.
We're done, thank you.
Next is Gregory Brandt. British. Gregory Brandt. Stand on the LX.
Okay, I will call case 26 CF 260, State of Wisconsin versus Gregory Brandt. Would the parties please state their appearances?
Sam Smith for the state.
Mr. Gregory Brandt appears in person in custody with counsel attorney David Anderson. I have received a copy of the complaint. We do waive any further reading and the address is correct.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I find that it states probable cause. What's the state's position on bond?
State's requesting a signature bond and the condition that the defendant not use the internet except for when he is at work.
Fence has no objections.
I will order a signature bond and Mr. Brandt will also order that you not use the internet except while at work. About the preliminary hearing time limits.
We will waive the time limits.
I'll find that Mr. Brandt has waived the time limits for the preliminary hearing. That'll be scheduled. We're adjourned on this matter.
Next is Henry Mazariegos. GARRIDO. This way, sir. Mazariegos, GARRIDO.
I will call case 26 CF 266, State of Wisconsin versus Henry Mazariegos GARRIDO. Would the parties please state their appearances?
ADA Sam Smith for the state.
Mr. Henry Mazariegos Garrido appears in person and in custody alongside attorney C. Joseph Ventola. I would just ask for one quick moment to speak to Mr. Mazariegos. I've talked to Mr. Mazariegos Garrido. The address on the criminal complaint is correct. It would appear that he is eligible for public defender services. I would ask, given the language barrier, that the criminal complaint be read so that we can ensure that he understands the charges that he faces.
Mr. Mazariegos GARRIDO, you are charged with one count of forgery, The complaint alleges that on or about Thursday, January 29th, 2026, in the city of Madison, Dane County, Wisconsin, with intent to defraud, that you falsely made a check so that it purported to have been made by authority of one who did not give such authority, namely Adoptions of Wisconsin Incorporated, which is a Class H felony, and upon conviction, you may be fined more than $10,000 or in prison not more than 6 years or both. You are also charged on count 2 with identity theft. That count alleges that on and or in between January 16th, 2026 and January 20th, 2026 in the city of Madison, Dane County, Wisconsin, that you intentionally possessed with intent to use personal identifying information or personal identifying documents, namely a check of LJB with intent to obtain anything of value or benefit without that individual's authorization or consent, and by representing that you are acting with the authorization or consent of that individual, which is a Class H felony, for which you may be fined not more than $10,000 or in prison more than 6 years or both. Count 3 is identity theft, which alleges that on and or in between January 16th, 2026 and January 20th, 2026, in the city of Madison, Dane County, Wisconsin, you intentionally possessed with intent to use personal identifying information or personal identification documents, namely a check of the law center with intent to obtain anything of value or benefit without the individual's authorization or consent, and by representing that you are acting with the authorization or consent of that individual, which is a Class H felony. Upon conviction, you may be fined not more than $10,000 or in prison not more than 6 years or both.
Commissioner, if I can interject real quickly, there is a public safety assessment on this defendant. It was printing out just as it was called, so the party should have copies of it.
Thank you. All right, what's the state's position on bail?
State's requesting a signature bond with non-monetary conditions to include no contact with Lynn B. It's LYNN, last initial B as in boy. No contact with Ann G. Ann is common spelling and last initial G is in Gary. No contact with Sarah V. SARA. Last initial V is in Victor. A ban from the Law Center on West Washington Avenue. A ban from the Adoption Center on West Washington Avenue. No use or possession of any financial instruments not in his own name. That's all the conditions I'm requesting. Thank you.
Any objection?
I would just ask for one moment to speak to Mr. Mazariegos.
Perfect.
For the court reporter, the common spelling of and is to include A and N. I was thinking of stand.
Missing two.
So we're not going to object to any of the conditions proposed by the state. I would note that this is to some extent a bit of an academic exercise, as it appears that there is an immigration hold placed on Mr. Mazariegos. But no objections to anything the state has proposed. Thank you.
And maybe I should clarify that immigration hold. It's not actually an immigration hold as traditionally recognized. It's request for advanced notification of a release. In general, the Dane County Sheriff's Office is not under the sheriff.
Okay, thank you. If I may just have one more moment to speak with him. All right, nothing further. Thank you.
I'll order a signature bond. I'll order the non-monetary conditions as requested by the state. What about the time limits for the preliminary hearing, counsel?
We're going to waive the time limits. Thank you.
All right, I'll find the time limits have been waived for preliminary hearing. I'm sorry, it was scheduled matter for a status. And we're heard on this matter. Thanks.
Next is Camila Gutierrez. Camila Gutierrez.
I'll plug in 26 CF 26.
We were just clarifying whether she needs an interpreter. She has said that she prefers English.
Okay, I'll call case 26 CF 261, State of Wisconsin versus Camila Gutierrez. Will the parties please state their appearances?
Sam Smith for the state.
Ms. Camila Gutierrez appears in person and in custody alongside attorney C. Joseph Antola. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint. One moment, please. We can confirm that the mailing address on it is correct. She said that she would like to receive her mail at the job center. We would waive formal reading of the complaint, stand mute as to any misdemeanor charges, and it would appear that she is eligible for public defender services.
I've reviewed a copy of the complaint. I find that it states probable cause. I will enter a not guilty plea on Ms. Gutierrez's behalf with respect to count 3. What is the state's position on bond?
State's recommending a signature bond along with the conditions that she not consume or possess alcohol and not consume or possess controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription.
So you said alcohol and controlled substances?
Correct.
Okay. Any objection?
No objections. Thank you.
No order a signature bond. Ms. Gutierrez, I'll order that you not use or possess any alcohol or any controlled substances without a valid prescription, and that you not possess any drug paraphernalia while this matter is pending.
Perfecto. Largo decision.
Counsel, all right. Counsel, with respect to the preliminary hearing,
We'll be waiving the time limits. Thank you.
all right, I find that Ms. Gutierrez has waived the time limits for preliminary hearing, scheduled a matter for a status or adjourn. Good luck, Ms. Gutierrez.
Right, next is Melissa Basilio Ruiz.
So we're just in pre-bond.
I'll call 26 CF 244, State of Wisconsin versus Melissa Basilio Ruiz. Would the parties please state their appearances?
Sam Smith for the state.
Miss Melissa Basilio Ruiz.
Just inquiring because this defendant has had victim family members on live stream.
I've received no request today for a consecutive interpretation of this.
Got it. Thank you so much. Wanted to confirm.
State your appearance.
I'll just do it again to be safe. Miss Melissa Basilio Ruiz appears in person and in custody alongside attorney C. Joseph Ventolo.
All right, it looks like cash bail was set back on well, last week, January 29th. Set in the amount of $15,000 with a condition that included that Miss Basilio Ruiz surrender her passport or other travel documents to Dane County Jail. It's my understanding that since then, the cash bail has been posted, but Miss Basilio Ruiz has represented that she doesn't have a passport to surrender. So we're here to address that issue. Any position?
Yeah, I can start. I think I would propose amending that to have her either turn over a passport or provide a notarized declaration indicating that no passport exists. I recognize I don't have a direct hotline to the State Department to find out whether or not she actually has a passport. So I know it's a relatively unique condition.
Do you have any information that she does have a passport?
I do not. I actually was speaking with law enforcement investigators from our office, and I don't have any information indicating that she has one. So if the court is going to remove it entirely, I don't have information to, I guess, support the notion that she has one. What I'm proposing is amending it to that she either turn it over or provide a notarized declaration indicating that it doesn't exist. But with that being said, I guess that's the state's position.
Any position on behalf of Ms. Basilio Ruiz?
Given the representation by the state, I think the condition, even with the proposed amendment, is just entirely unnecessary. Ms. Basilio Ruiz has represented to me that she does not have a passport from what the state's investigation has turned up. And given the charge against the co-defendant, I would imagine this is quite a serious investigation. They don't seem to believe that she has a passport. I think that making her jump through any extra hoops to show something that they appear to already know is unnecessary. Thank you.
Given that there's just no indication that Ms. Basilio Ruiz has a passport and that she's represented she doesn't, I'm going to remove that condition. I'm going to add the condition, no, Ms. Basilio Ruiz, that you not possess a passport while this case is pending, that you not obtain one, that you not obtain or possess a passport while this case is pending. Okay. All right. Anything else?
Nothing. Thank you.
Not from the state, thanks.
We're off the record.
Next is Romando Seymour.
Just as a heads up, Your Honor, there is I believe, a victim on the live stream that wants to be heard.
Romando Seymour.
Mr. Seymour.
I've been reviewing the complaint, I'll call it. Right, I'll call 26 CM 229. This is State of Wisconsin versus Romando Seymour. Would the parties please state their appearances?
Sam Smith for the state.
Mr. Romando Seymour appears in person and in custody alongside attorney C. Joseph Antola. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint. Mr. Seymour has represented to me that the address on it is not correct. I'm just going to have him share with the court a correct mailing address.
2129 East Johnson Street.
Is there an apartment number?
No, just those house.
We would waive formal reading of the complaint, stand mute as to any misdemeanor charges. I believe there is one, and it would appear that he is eligible for public defender services.
All right, I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I find that it states probable cause. I'll enter not guilty pleas on Mr. Seymour's behalf to these 2 counts. I understand that there's a victim here who wishes to be heard on the issue of bail. If that's so, please just identify yourself and you tell me what you want to know about bail.
My name is Sharice Seymour, and as far as bail is concerned, I really don't care either way, but I know justice is going to be done one way or another, and I just want to be left alone. I don't want to have no more dealings with him at all. I'm going to file for a divorce.
Right, thank you, ma'am. What's the state's position as to bond?
State's recommending a signature bond, no contact with Cherie Seymour. It's SHERRYE. Last initial S is in Seymour. A ban from the 1100 block of Moreland Road, that's in Madison. And no consumption or possession of alcohol. Thank you.
Any objection?
None, thank you.
All right, I will order a signature bond. Mr. Seymour, I'll order that you not have any contact at all with Sherry. I'll order that you are banned from the 1100 block of Moreland Road and that you not use or possess any alcohol while this case is pending. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Not from the state.
Then we're adjourned. Thank you.
Best of luck to you, sir.
Next up will be JAMARDA DONZELL. Mr. Grant. Down the audience.
Mr. Green. All right, let's put you serve from the public defender's office. Let me ask you one thing. I can't, I mean, this is old. Is that still a big man? It is. That's where you still.
I'll call 2008 CF 504 State of Wisconsin versus JAMARDA Grant. Would parties please state their appearances?
Sam Smith for the state.
Mr. JAMARDA DONZELL appears in person and in custody alongside attorney C. Joseph Ventola. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint. We would waive its formal reading. The address on it is correct. We would stand mute as to any misdemeanor charges, and it would appear that he is eligible for public defender services.
I confirm, I'm looking at the jail computer and it shows 2670 Chicago Avenue. We have 3229.
The address on the complaint is 3229 Chicago Ave, and he has told me that that is his home address.
What is the state's position on bond?
State's requesting $1,000 cash in the standard conditions. Your Honor, the only reason I'm asking for cash is I believe this case was in warrant status for almost 20 years, and I think that some cash is necessary to ensure Mr. Grant appears. Thank you.
Of course.
From the defense perspective?
We would be asking for a lower amount of cash bonds, maybe something in the range of $300 to $500. I would note multiple things. One is that it might sound a little on its head in a way, but given how old this case is, one of the factors that the court can consider is the strength of the evidence. And I think there's a serious question of how strong the evidence on a disorderly conduct and bail jumping would be 18 years after the fact. I would imagine the state's going to have significant issues proving a case of this age and with these types of charges. I don't see any criminal convictions on his record, which would mean that in the 18 years since this case was first issued, there has been no new criminal activity that neither I nor the state have been able to verify. I would also note Mr. Grant has lived in Dane County for his entire life. He has 3 children, aged 13, 14, and 5. They all live with him. He has been employed as of recently as a car salesman. He has been training for his CDL. I understand that there will be, he does have his CDL, he tells me. So we're not opposed to any amount of cash, but given the relatively minor nature of the offenses here, I do think $1,000 would be a pretty extreme amount, and it should be worth noting that Mr. Grant is eligible for public defender services, meaning that he is indigent, and so $1,000 would likely be a prohibitively high amount for him to pay. Thank you.
All right. I'll order cash bail in the amount of $500. It's consistent with the PSA report on file that says that recommends a modest amount of cash. I'll note that Mr. Grant was initially summoned in to appear on this case and didn't. I suppose the fact that he's been gone for so long, that's both ways. What about the time limits for the preliminary hearing?
I just need one moment to speak to him about it. Thank you. So they have that's the understanding. Which is so they said that the $500 you asked. Do you want to keep it down? Well. We would be waiving the time limits. Thank you.
All right, let's have the matter for status. I'll find that Mr. Grant has waived the time limits. And we're done. Good luck, Mr. Grant.
Next is TUGBE SULUREH.
And last name? Sulareh. Okay. Is that the mailing? It's really too bad. Okay. All right, I'll call case 26 CF 263, State of Wisconsin versus TUGBE TUGBERIUS. Would the parties please state their appearances?
Sam Smith for the state.
Mr. TUGBE TUGBERIUS appears in person and in custody alongside attorney C. Joseph Fantola. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint. We waive its formal reading. I can confirm that the address on it is correct. Stand mute as to the misdemeanor charges, and it would appear that Mr. TUGBERIUS is eligible for public defender services.
I have reviewed the copy of the criminal complaint. I find that it states probable cause. I'll enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Sulareh with respect to count 2. What's the state's position on bail?
State's recommending cash bail in the amount of $1,500, along with the condition that he not consume or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. I'll note, particularly what's being alleged in this case is the defendant was pulled over, and then when he seems to realize his vehicle is going to be searched, he takes off, pulls a U-turn to avoid another officer. He's alleged to be going 75 in a 35-mile-per-hour zone. From the state's perspective, someone willing to engage in that sort of behavior, this fleeing and eluding behavior, is less likely to come to court absent a financial incentive to do so. So that I think the state's request is appropriate. Thanks.
On behalf of Mr. Sulareh?
We would be asking for a more modest amount of cash. I'll start by saying we do not object to the non-monetary conditions proposed by the state. We would be asking that cash bail be set in the amount of $300. I understand that with this nature of charges, there can be some concern about non-appearance. I did look into Mr. Sulareh's background. I don't see any criminal convictions on his record. I should also note that these offenses are not Act 3 eligible. One thing I did see that I think was significant is that he completed deferred prosecution on case 23 CM 2742. I forgot to note down how long that time period was, but that involves a not insignificant amount of supervision and coordination with the district attorney's office, for the duration of the participation in the program. I also saw there did not appear to be any appearance issues on that case. I am aware that he has an open case in Waukesha County. I did not notice any appearance issues on that case either. Mr. Sulareh, in my opinion, has made it clear that he does come to court. I even note that he might have missed court one time. Not clear on those circumstances, but I believe generally his record indicates that he is willing to work with the district attorney's office and come to court. It is also worth noting that he does have significant ties to the community here in Dane County. He has lived here his whole life. Parents, siblings, extended family, friends all live here in Dane County. And he, from what I can tell, up until just recently, if it appears up until he was arrested, he was employed at Walgreens. Given his lack of a record, given that these are not Act 3 eligible offenses, and given his prior participation in the deferred prosecution unit, successful participation, I should say, I believe a lower amount of cash, maybe $300 would be appropriate. Thank you.
Attorney Smith, I saw you nodding your head about the missed appearance.
Yeah, just to supplement the record, that was a Dodge County case, 25 CT 333. There's a bench warrant issued on June 30th of 2025. But that's all I have to add.
Well, I agree with the parties that some cash is appropriate. I'll order $1,000 cash bail. I think the facts alleged in the complaint certainly suggest that Mr. Sulareh may be less than willing to come to court voluntarily. And so cash is appropriate. I think the missed court appearance also suggests that he may not attend court as required. I'll order the non-monetary conditions requested by the state. The preliminary hearing, counsel.
That's the time. So you can make those time. So it gives you.
But then I would generally say waive titles, it gives you more time to get the charge. But you have a right to have it. So what do you prefer?
Just show the court that I'm not applying ways, I'll do it.
You want to keep the titles.
That's true, yeah, because
You might not have an attorney by then. Just wondering.
we might not have to tell it.
Yeah, you might not have an attorney by then because you have to wait for the public defender's office.
Yeah, so whatever.
If you're gonna be out of custody, generally gives you more time. It's good.
We're going to be waiving the time limits. Thank you.
All right, I will find that Mr. Sularez has waived the time limits, schedule the matter for a status. Anything else before we go through?
Nope.
No, thank you.
Roger?
Yes. Brett is fine. Next is Jennifer Broberg. Thank you.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. Stand in the yellow X.
Ms. Crawford, then I need to trust in the public defense. Representing for today's purposes. I'll call 26 CM 255 and 26 CM 256. Both are State of Wisconsin versus Jennifer Broberg. Would the parties please state their appearances?
Sam Smith for the state.
Miss Jennifer Broberg, apologies, appears in person and in custody alongside attorney C. Joseph Fantola from the State Public Defender's Office. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint. I can confirm that the address on it is correct. We would waive its formal reading, and it would appear that Ms. Broberg is eligible for public defender services. Thank you.
Is that true on both cases? You have both the files, right? 26 CM 255 and 26 CM 256.
Let me double check. It is the same address on both.
I'm sorry, I was wondering more. That's fine. I reviewed the copy. I reviewed a copy of both criminal complaints and find that both contain probable cause. I'll enter not guilty pleas on Ms. Broberg's behalf. It's the state's position on bond.
Regarding 26 CM 255, state's requesting a signature bond, a ban from Viroqua Drive. It's VIROQUA. No contact with Lindsay A. That's LINDSEY. Last initial A is an apple. No contact with Jennifer M. It's JENNIFER. Last initial M as in Mary. No contact with Genesis M. It's GENESIS. Last initial M as in Mary. No contact with Janice M. It's JANIS. Last initial M as in Mary. And lastly, no contact with Charles W. CHARLES. Last initial W as in William. Regarding 26 CM 256, the state is requesting again a signature bond along with no contact with an individual with the initials SSN. So that's Sam, Nancy. And also in that case, a ban from Viroqua Drive.
Any objection?
We're not going to be objecting to the proposed no context, but I really, and of course not going to object to a signature bond, but I really do have to object to the address ban. Ms. Broberg lives on the 6,000 block of Viroqua Drive. If she's banned from Viroqua Drive, she will have nowhere to go. She has never been convicted of a crime before. These are not Act 3 eligible offenses. It seems pretty extreme to take someone who hasn't previously been in trouble and then ban her from her address. The no contact conditions should be more than sufficient. And if the court would want something a little more substantial, I mean, there could be a condition to not contact the residences of the alleged victims in these cases, but that would already be covered generally by the no contact provisions that the state has proposed. But My concern is that if the court were to impose a ban on Viroqua Drive, it would leave Ms. Broberg homeless, which would be unnecessarily punitive. And again, she has never been convicted of a crime before. She's lived in Dane County for her whole life. It's a pretty extreme condition for Ms. Broberg, so I would have to object to that.
On the 255 case, I'll order a signature bond. Ms. Broberg, I'll order that you have no contact with Lindsay A., Jennifer M., Genesis M., Janice M., Charles W., or their residences. And the 256 case, I'll order a signature bond in that case and order that you not have any contact with SSN or their residents. Is there anything else?
From the state.
Nothing, thank you.
Porter? Good luck.
Thank you so much for your time.
Next is Georgiana White. This way.
Is that good?
Is it that one?
Where do you want to receive from that? Okay, I'll have them corrected. Call 26 CF 262, State of Wisconsin versus Georgiana White. Would the parties please state their appearances?
ADA Sam Smith for the state.
Miss Georgiana White appears in person and in custody alongside Attorney C. Joseph Antola. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint. We would waive its formal reading. She has a better mailing address that she would like to share with the court.
It's 150 Snyder Road, but it's not spelled.
Can you spell it for us?
SCHNEIDER Road, and it's in some areas. And the apartment is 1134.
1134, you said?
I would also note that she is eligible for public defender services, and we would stand mute as to the misdemeanor charges. Thank you.
I've reviewed a copy of the criminal complaint, find that it contains probable cause. I will enter a not guilty plea on Ms. White's behalf with respect to count 3. What's the state's position on bail?
State's requesting a signature bond along with conditions that the defendant not operate a motor vehicle, not consume or possess alcohol, and not consume or possess controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. Also a condition that she not possess any dangerous weapons. I would just note in support of the blanket no operation of a motor vehicle, that condition that I'm requesting, per DOT records, the defendant has not possessed a valid driver's license since 2011. And it's the state's position that she should not be operating a motor vehicle now, being accused of her 4th offense, OWI. That's all. Thank you.
Any objection?
No objections. Thank you.
Right, I'll order a signature bond. Ms. White, I'll order that you not operate a motor vehicle while this case is pending, that you not consume or possess any alcohol or any controlled substance without a valid prescription. I'll also order that you not possess any drug paraphernalia, and that you not possess a dangerous weapon. With respect to the preliminary hearing timelines,
Just one moment to talk to Ms. White. Thank you.
maybe give you something like that. Okay.
We're going to be waiving the time limits. Thank you.
I find that Ms. White has waived the time limits for preliminary hearing. We'll schedule the matter for status. We're adjourned.
Thank you.
That's everyone this afternoon.